Welcome back to the second part of the 7 Deadly Sins challenge. So I already did the first part of this with pride, wrath, and greed that you can see on the top right corner. You can watch that if you want to see me create them, but in this video I'm going to be creating the other 7 deadly sins. Just a little disclaimer, this is not religious. Like, I just like the idea and the concept of the 7 deadly sins. This isn't actually a religious thing, okay? Alright, now that that's out of the way, I can talk about envy. So right now I am making envy, and envy is all about wanting what other people have and just making, like, gaining pleasure from making others low. And this is like the #1 reason for people to be unhappy in life. Now for this sim specifically, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. Like, I kind of wanted her to look unkept a bit, just because I feel like she looks out to other people instead of focusing on herself. So she might just let herself go a bit because she's always focusing on what other people are doing. Did you hear that? My cat just sneezed. Don't know if you heard that. So, oh my, she is allergic to me. Okay, so that was like one option for the sim. The other one though was I wanted her to look like she was always replicating what others were doing. So she would have like the latest trends and all that, because she just was always wanting what other people looked like, and she would try to replicate that herself. So I kind of did a little bit of both, but I don't think really one idea I explored too thoroughly, which, I mean, bit of an issue, but I think it's fine. So I went with the color green for envy because of the, you know, the saying, green with envy. Like, that's a saying, right? I'm pretty sure it's a saying. So that's kind of, she has green eyes, and then I gave her like a green top, I think. So she's got green on her. And I also made her like super skinny, if you can't tell, just because I feel like she would try to fit the mold of like the ideal body type. So that's kind of what I went with for her appearance. And I wanted, like, in the first Zodiac, not Zodiac, that's my other series. you can also watch that if you want, but no, in my first 7 deadly sins part, I explained how I wanted them all to look like you just wouldn't see them walking down the street. Like, they look a bit otherworldly, but also a bit grounded, right? So I kind of continued that theme for all of them by just having very fancy clothes and dresses and stuff that you just wouldn't normally find. And I think that comes through with this outfit here. I would say I had a reason for giving her a key necklace, but it was just because it was the only necklace that like had a good length for that top. So sadly I have no actual reason for that key, just accept it and move on. So I went with the, oh yeah, that, by the way, I really like the look of, but I figured you guys wouldn't like it as much, so I got rid of it. So for her traits, I went with gloomy because it is the sin that makes like you the most unhappy. And I went with untalented. That's another custom trait of mine. Not because they actually are untalented, but because that's just how they see themselves. So, and then I also went with evil because they will do anything to get what others have, even inflict harm. So moving on here, we have lust. So that's who I'm working on. And lust is all about like intense longing. And it's usually thought of like a sexual desire, but it can honestly be about anything. Like, it can be about lust for money or power, or really anything. Like, it's not just sexual, but it's considered the least serious capital sin. Well, pride is the most deadly. Well, lust is the least. And I decided to go with the color pink for her. And I gave her some eyes which aren't really that pink. Like, they kind of look more purpley. I'm pretty sure they looked more pink when I was in game, but like looking at them now, they look very purple. But there was just no pink eyes. And I have this theme of always using these eyes for every sin. So yeah, I gave her, I guess, more purpley eyes, which kind of sucks, but gotta do what you gotta do, right? Alright, so I really struggled integrating like the color pink with her, because I don't know, I wanted her to have like more braided hair, because I haven't made a sim with that yet, but everything just looked off when in pink, so I struggled a lot with trying to find some way to integrate that pink in, because I mean the makeup wasn't entirely pink and hair not so pink. I mean this, not that hair, but this hair, I don't know why, but like it kind of looks pinkish. It doesn't really, but it kind of got like a pink tint. I could be wrong, my eyes might just be wanting it so it happens, but that's how I see it. And I decided I really wanted her to be wearing a dress, because I thought she could pull off a very scandalous dress, because she is lust. So I had a lot of options, but none of them looked quite right, until I started going for like this more like muted pink color, which I thought looked nice. Yeah, that color, and I just matched everything to that. So I really wanted to show a less intimidating look for her. Like, unlike Pride, which I think is very intimidating, I wanted her to look kind of nicer than the rest of them, just because it is the least serious sin, right? So it's probably the most like, innocent of the sins. Well, but you know, take that. Most innocent of the 7 deadly sins. So it's innocent, but it's really not. So for her traits, I gave her alluring, great kisser, and then romantic, because lust isn't, there is romance behind that. Like it's just passion and it's desire for things. So it can be a bit romantic if that's what you're passionate about at that time. Yeah, and I wanted to give her piercings, but everything just stood out too much, so it was a bit weird. So I gave her just this earring, which I thought looked good. I don't know, it matched, like, one side of her head is, like, has her hair, and then the other one has the earring. I think it balanced it out pretty well. Yeah, I really liked how she turned out. I think she matches lust very well, and I gotta say, I'm loving the new EA nail polish. I don't know why. They really work for me. I'm enjoying them. So now I am working on Gluttony, and Gluttony is all about an overindulgence and or overconsumption of anything to the point of waste. So it's not just about eating food or stuff like that. Like, it's just about taking things in excess that is wasteful. So yeah, it's anything. Literally anything. It's not just about food. Just make that perfectly clear. So I kind of wanted her to look like she is like happy and has like a thrill to her, just because I feel like this is her face like right after she just ate a lot of cookies, and she's like still kind of coming off the high of eating all those cookies. So I kind of made her look like super happy, but you know, she reels you in with her cute face, and then, you know, she'll steal all your money and eat all of your food. So I went with the color of orange for her. I don't really know why, I just chose the certain colors that I did. I think it's, I don't know, it's pretty universal, I think, the colors I chose to represent the signs. I don't know exactly, I kind of just followed one image of the 7 deadly sins and I was like, okay, those colors work for me. I'm really, she didn't take me very long. I was pretty quick with finding her an outfit. She's pretty simplistic. But I gave her not that much makeup because I didn't think she cared too much about all that makeup, and looks wise I don't think she cares too much. I think she's just trying to live her life to the fullest without really caring what anybody else thinks of her. Like, she's the complete opposite of envy, is basically what gluttony is. And I gave her the traits of high maintenance, which is the new one that came with Spot, and gluttony, and of course gluttony, and then piggy, which is basically just another version of gluttony. And now this is, I'm working on sloth, and sloth is basically just about like you're not interested, like it's an absence of interest, like you don't care. It's all about like you have no feelings towards yourself or others, and it's a mindset that really gives rise to like boredom and apathy. I feel like apathy is a huge part of sloth. It's often found in feelings of laziness and idleness, and it's a sin of omitting responsibilities. So, to represent this, I kind of just made, like, I made her skin tone kind of look like she's a corpse, just because it kind of, I think, fit, because to be that apathetic and disinterested, like, you're basically a dead person walking, right? You're not living. So I kind of went with that, and then I really went with the apathy look for her, just having like her face just completely neutral, like she just doesn't feel all that much towards anything. So that's what I went with. And then I didn't give her that much makeup or anything, and I made her look unkept, and just like she just doesn't care about anything, about what she looks like or what others think of her. She just doesn't care. She has the color blue. That is the color of apathy, of sloth, apparently. And I went with just like a lazy look, and I made her eyes blue and her hair blue, and then I think her dress blue. I made a lot of her blue, but it's all different blue, so it might be a bit clashy, but whatever, it's fine. We ignore. And I like this hair. I mean, it looks like it was a bit styled, but I really like the color of it, because it's like, it's blue, but it's a very dull blue, right? Just kind of like how she's just a bit dull. And I wanted her to look very lazy, so that's why I gave her like the sweater thing, because I thought it looked good, even though it clips a bit with the outfit, but I really wanted it. I was set. And I gave her the traits of carefree, because she doesn't care what anybody else thinks about her or anything, really. Like, she just doesn't care, so of course she's not stressed or anything. And then lazy, and then loner. So I really hope you guys enjoyed the 7 deadly sins creation. This is the end of this. And please like, comment, and subscribe so that I can have a job where I don't have to interact with people. Alright, bye!